Shalom, Hebrew. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K. started 1969 and is run today by Commanding General Yahanna, the man with the rank and authority to lead us until Christ's return. I want to say Yahweh Basham Yahweh Barakatam to my brothers, Yahweh Shamar Ilatan Basham Yahweh to my sisters. Welcome to a Wednesday night law class. Let's delve into some laws. The heat is on again. All right, we're going to go to Deuteronomy 17. You got this on this.
Deuteronomy chapter 17.
Verse 1.
And verse 1. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil flavoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God.
All right, so the Most High work with perfection, no blemish in anything that you are going to, that we would have been sacrificing unto the Lord. You see, blemish in these animals is like in these animals that we used to use for sacrifice. It's just like the sins in us. So we can't, the same way the Most High don't accept the animal with the blemish, don't accept you with the blemish. No spiritual blemish. All right, 2.
If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman, that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, is transgressing his covenant, and hath gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded.
All right, so if anyone among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man, woman, man or woman, that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, in transgression is what?
In transgressing
His covenant. Meaning, who break his covenant. That's the thing with that we as Israelites don't seem to get. We don't seem to get it that it's the covenant that we are to safeguard, we are to protect. So much so that we disregard it. You know, like you sign a contract. Let's say you have a work contract with your slavery, right? And you get, it has its stipulations. But you just, after a while, you just disregard the stipulations and start doing what you think you should do. What do you think happens when you do that? You disregard the stipulations of the contract.
Once there are guidelines or rules or agreement as to how you function, then once there is a disregard when your breach happens and then you are reprimanded in whatever form the organization decides.
Reprimanded is too much a big word, man. What we are doing, you did what? They punish you.
Caution, you could be punished.
As a matter of fact, yeah, you have to punish, or then they bring in another clause. Because most contract has a clause that states if one of the party breaks the contract, what is the action to be taken? Well, in our case, like in the case of work, you might find that it states that you go to court for settlement. In the case of Israel's contract with the Most High, which we keep on breaking, no different. It has its clauses that stipulates what happens if you break that contract. It tells you the punishment which will happen to you if you break that contract. And this is the part we can't seem to get until today. Christ's death and ultimate sacrifice, it is just to bring us back. In other words, pay some justice that we couldn't pay. Because according to our contract, we were to be out there just like the song that never ends. But Christ changed that. Christ became the ultimate sacrifice, because within that contract, it also tells you what actions we can take if we should I say break, or should I say many times we knowingly break it, we knowingly sin most times as a people, but it's not so much the knowingly sin part. Many of us sin when we know not. So the Most High put stipulation for that. The sin that is not presumption. So let us sacrifice an animal. And the one that here it says the one that he would sacrifice is one that is without blemish. But Christ became that ultimate sacrifice. And he became the ultimate lamb, right? True or false? Right. And he became the lamb without blemish. Just like how we couldn't sacrifice a lamb here. And matter of fact, maybe we should look at what is blemish here talking about. What's the blemish here it's talking about? Within the lamb, the animal, the sheep.
It's not a one straight color, or it may have some form of deformity.
Right, they can have a deformity. So, for instance, something happen and knock out one of the eyes, or lose an ear, or have a broken, it has a broken foot. It have two color. Called the most I call those blemish. Christ became the ultimate sacrifice without blemish. Christ's blemish was what? Christ not having any blemish was what? Yeah, not having any sin. Right. Him not having a blemish wasn't so much physical, it was more he has never sinned. But that's why I would tell you that the blemish that we are not to have now, that we are not to sin. Ooh-wee. Right. So we keep on putting on blemish on ourselves in the form of sinning and breaking this contract with the Most High. So the one that is coming to tell you that laws done away with, that's lies. It's the same laws that made the standard which Christ lived by for us to say he had no blemish. How we know he have no blemish? Because the sin, the laws that we had, he lived them, fulfilled them, showing that, yeah, it can happen. So when he said, take up your cross and follow me, what do you think he mean? Follow these laws without any blemish, just like I did. Which other way you can take up your cross and follow Christ? There's no other way. And he was speaking to Israel because we were the one who needed redeemed or to be redeemed or needed redemption from breaking these laws or constant, what's the word we use? Constant transgressing the covenant. All right, go back to 3 again.
Deuteronomy 17 and verse 3. And have gone and served other gods, and worshipped them, either the sun or moon, or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded.
So this is the ultimate thing which always disturbs the Most High. We going to serve other gods. But really and truly, when we go, whichever country you go to, that's what you end up doing, When we go to America, what do we do? No man, we can serve Caesar Borgia from out here, which is wrong. But serve money? No, be real. What we end up doing? Thanksgiving. We end up celebrating Thanksgiving. Christmas became a big thing on the agenda. Halloween. What else? What else Americans? Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day. What else? And Easter, with Ishtar, our Statue of Liberty, which is the god of fertility. Yeah, Easter is a big thing in America. You have every year White House put out the egg hunt. What the egg signifies? Fertility. So these are the things which always upset our God. We're going to serve other God. We're going to worship them. In times past, man used to worship the ultimate, the moon in the sky, or the sun in the sky, the sun god Ra, who now the Caesar Borgia represent. If I see that picture with Caesar Borgia with the bright light shining behind him, that is or you depict the sun god, Yeah. All right, verse 4.
Verse 4. And it be told thee that thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, and behold, it be true, and the thing certain, that such
Abomination.
That such abomination is wrought in Israel. Then
so when it is spread abroad, people them don't understand. All right, in today's society that you won't hear people don't so start worship idol, you know. And you won't hear it like that. You might hear most of the people up that side, you know, they are Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
Or most of the people over that side, they are 7 days. Or you might hear something like, what else? They are Rastafarian. What else? You don't have much Buddhism out here, but you have a lot of Hindus. Remember the Usse thing? You see how many of our people now get involved in Hinduism. Yeah, celebrating things which they know not of. Doing things which they don't even know what they are doing. All they know is that our people love music, you know. So you know what that is? Religions have music. You know, music that can make you dance. They will get our people to rock, you know, the old time saying there, rock and come in. Yeah, man, they will get our people to rock and come in. Right, so these are the things that you have to safeguard against. As simple as it might look, you going into become a Muslim, go into Christianity a certain, gone into Christianity, worshiping Caesar Borgia, losing a path, not worshiping the Most High, as you should, which is of a pure art without any image. Christians have the same Bible. Christians have the same laws. Muslims have the same law. The Jewish people have the same law. But they are not of God. How you know they are not of God? That's a question that the Christian would ask, you know. How you know I'm not of God? All right. One simple thing. Are you following all his laws? Are you following his laws? Are you aware are, are you aware that you are an Israelite? Are you following his laws? Are you in the truth? Because the body of Christ is one. So you out there and you know, yes, I'm an Israelite. Yeah. I'm going to stop eat pork, I'm going to this, I'm going to that, but you're out there. You're not in the body. You have dismembered yourself. I have to come in the truth. Most I say, where your treasure is, there is your heart. Put your treasure in the truth, so that your heart can be in the truth. All right, verse what we are on.
Verse 5. Then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shalt stone them with stones till they die.
So it gives you the penalty for that's a penalty for adultery. What do you call it? Idolatry. Death by, and if you notice, you know, anytime you are being sentenced to death, you know, the method of death has to be stated. Today, if you are in Babylon or modern day Egypt, which is America, they might tell you death by the electric chair or lethal injection. They don't do hanging again, you know. Lethal injection, electric chair. What else? That's the two main way. I don't know if another way. Right. So the Bible tells you their death penalty is what? Stoning. Continue reading.
Verse 7. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you.
So how you put evil from among you? Make an example by what? Killing the evil man. Amen. And now you're going to say, oh, but Christ said, he that is without sin cast the first stone. Yeah, that's why you are still alive. That is true. That's why you're still alive. I was just showing you, if we had our own government and exacting these laws, this is you're measuring yourself, you know. Am I found wanting among these laws? I'm not being put to death now, but am I, if I should measure this against my life, will I be found wanting? If we were in a country where, if we were in our own land with our own kings and priests and following these laws as we should, would I be stoned? That's what grace is about, you know. So I tell you, death by stoning. Measure it among your life and stop saying, oh, Christ said, he that is without sin cast the first stone. So don't judge me. Really. When you go before the judge, when somebody care before you judge, tell the judge, don't judge me. But anyways, outside of you telling the judge that, the grace that is given to us doesn't mean that we should continue doing the wrong thing. It means we should measure our life. Yardstick. Use the laws as the yardstick and see how far we are from it. It says, have no other God. Am I found wanting in this? Or am I good to go? I found wanting. Because many you is following Caesar Borgia, following the white man's interpretation of the Bible. So you're not in the truth. That's how you know you're not in the truth. You know? The interpretation you have is not of Israel. It's of another nation. I'm over the nation that the Most High tell you to separate from. Verse 1.
Just read verse 7.
Verse 8.
Verse 8, rather. Deuteronomy 17, verse 8. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose.
All right, so most times some matters become so difficult because you hear that, is this man started, you know, he did so and so. My actions was really just a reaction to what he did. And then man said, yeah, but when you do so and so, you force me to do X, Y, Z. You know, back and forth. Plead, stroke for stroke, blood for blood. So the matter becomes so difficult to judge that an ordinary resident magistrate can't judge. So you require now, if you were in Jamaica, you would go where? High Court. You did a little laws, or the structure go again. Supreme Court. We have Supreme Court.
What is Supreme Court? Local Supreme Court and the Council.
Exactly. So the highest court out here is not our local Supreme Court. It's what? The Privy Council. So the Privy Council now set up as our highest court, when we should really have. There's also Court of Appeal, you know. That is, Court of Appeal is only for cases that which were judged already and you're making an appeal. Or you go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court should be the highest court in any land, you know. But because we were in we were under colonial rule, they put another court above that and call it the Privy Council. Remember, they wanted to come up with the CCJ, Caribbean Court of Justice, that would have replaced the Privy Council. So the Caribbean Court of Justice would have been the highest court, still after the Supreme Court. But you know, Privy Council is more a court of appeal. They can take a case to Supreme Court, you know, that has not been judged as yet. But you can take a case to the Privy Council which has not been judged. So what the Privy Council does is look at judgments that were made and say, yeah, we can uphold this judgment or no. But they don't hear cases from scratch. All right, so the Most High is setting up here now a Supreme Court in the land. He's telling that if the matter arises which is too hard for you to judge, verse 9.
And thou shalt come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall shew thee the sentence of judgment.
All right. So there was a time when we were ruled by judges. That's before we had kings. So the king would be the ultimate judge. Along with in our case, the king and the priest. But here that's the same thing. And to the judge. So you go to the priests, and we had judges like Leo Samson and others. Continue. 10.
Verse 10. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Lord shall choose shall shew thee. And thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee.
You notice it says that one. They. It's just like any Supreme Court that doesn't carry one judge. And so you shall go to the priests, plural, and unto the judge. So just like a Supreme Court, how many judges sit on our Supreme Court? The 6? The 3, 6, no? 4 or 6? Can't move it down. Can't find it. How many judges sit on Jamaica Supreme Court? We also have we have traffic court, we have family court, we have gun court, we have the worst one. You don't want to go to study there, you don't want to go circuit. That's where they decide if your neck going to break or not. Commit an atrocity and hear that the key is going to circuit. Lord of mercy. Or if you are going to get life in prison. There are a lot of men out there doing life. Not getting it.
6. other than a president and 6 other judges, the Chief Justice.
In our, the last Chief Justice we have is Zaka, the Chief Justice and 6 other judges. So you go. Right. So the Chief Justice and 6 other judges. So in our case now, you will have the person who is the judge of the land, who might be the king and the priests. Some of the priests. Originally it was 9. And they reduced, what were 9 judges?
1894.
That up 18 something. Yeah man, then time they probably then you need that much because those were some terrible times. 1894. That's what after the Mark Bay Rebellion. Mark Bay Rebellion was at 1860 something. You saw? All right. So we are at verse 1. 9. And thou shalt come unto the priest, the Levite, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. Verse 10 now.
Verse 10. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they that place of that place which the Lord shall shew thee, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee.
Right, they continue.
According to the sentence of the law which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgment which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do it. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall shew thee to the right hand, or nor to the left. And the man that will do presumptuously, and will not hearken unto the chief priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And thou shalt put away the evil from Israel.
Right. They're telling you that whatever judgment they make, you must follow it. Or what?
Death.
Are you yourself going to be put to death? So you see, this is how you set up court. And you ensure that people follow what the court says. There has to be some penalty for not following the court. Just like if somebody take you to court and what they call it, summons. You are summoned to the court. And you sit in. Oh, them people that take me find out who this man that come carry me to court. And you decide not to go. What happened? Yeah, a warrant is out for your arrest. And they arrest you and bring you before the judge. So you know have another 2 cases now you have on your hand. Disobeying the court, disobeying that order of someone, and whatever you were summoned for. All right, that's verse 1.
That is verse 12. That was verse 12.
That was verse 12, telling you that you must follow the sentence of the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court judge matter, like we hear that Donald Trump. We talk about Donald Trump. Hear the latest thing with Trump though. You're not following Trump. You should follow him, man. Huh? The Trump block Biden finances. You can't get to do a lot of things. You get funding, you need funding for this, funding for that. In other words, prepare himself for to take over in January. Trump is blocking that. So, you know, you're not going to have a smooth transition. Well, early days yet. But Trump looked like he's going to make some trouble. But in any case, we hear that him might be going to the Supreme Court, which, if says he goes to the Supreme Court. As a matter of fact, so I understand some of the cases that he want to put before the Supreme Court is already been getting thrown out because lack of evidence. So you're going to bring a matter before the court saying voter fraud. Okay, where's the evidence? See, they are dead man voting. Can you prove that this person, who you see the name here, somebody actually voted for this person? These things are difficult to prove. So he probably goes another route. Now, if he should go another route, what's the other route he might take? Bad, we are pretty tough on top about war. A bad man is him that he will take. Someone, you remember him telling militias them to stand by, you know. He said to his militias when they were making, I think he himself said something, and them, you know, them rise up and start. It's men in military gear and things. Trump said to tell them stand by. Anyways, that is Donald Trump. All right, so that was 12. That was 11. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die. And thou shalt put away the evil from himself. All right, and 13 says, and all the people shall hear and fear and do no more presumptuously. So you make an example of that man. All right. 14. When thou art come into the land, come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. So you see, we were given such rulership over ourselves that we didn't even have king. We had ruler still, because the judge that was over the nation, judge the nation. But the point that the Most High, well, two things about it. One, he wants you to experience ultimate freedom in a civilized way. And two, he said it whereas, you know, if you have a king, the throne pass on to who? When a king leave the throne, it generally pass to who? His son. Right. Yeah, pass to the heir. And the heir is generally his son. But the Most High don't want that. Most High have 12 tribes. He wants where he can raise up the judge from any other tribe. Because who said the king's son is gonna be righteous? King's son might not be righteous. And in many cases, when they read, Lord of mercy, when they read some things that our kings did, far from righteousness. So that's it. All right, so we're at 15.
Verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
So you see, that's why in the truth we say you are not to vote, because you might have a representative which is an Israelite, but who him report to? Goes to the heathens. The Most High tell us not to set strangers over us. We may in no wise set a stranger over us, which is not our brother. All right, 16.
Verse 16. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt.
What do you mean by return? Cause the people to return to Egypt? Bondage. All right. Not the land Mizraim, but he should not cause the people to return to bondage. In other words, he should not oppress the people. To the end
that he should multiply horses.
So in other words, you're going to oppress the people so that you can have riches. You should not do that.
For as much as the Lord hath said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Verse 17. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold.
So in other words, he mustn't become too rich. With a bag of women. Most I don't want to have too much boxes now while confuse you still. True or false? True or false?
It's basically
Anyway, I said too much.
Just need a little clarification. In the New Testament, where it speaks of one wife, as in one faith, or the leader of Israel. I mean, they're not doing correctly. One, only the God of Israel.
The bishop.
Yes.
Who is set over the church, which we now call the school.
Which Christianity confuses to say that one wife was talking about one woman. But we have learned.
Well, that's where how Christianity spin everything, because they tell her that right skill and eat Peter means what? Tell her that you can eat anything.
And here where it says, the part where it says about wife, is it literally speaking about women or speaking?
She's talking about it. Wife. Woman. She's not talking about religion, no. Oh, you know it's talking about women.
Oh.
All right. Follow the trend.
Answer.
It's talk.
It's talking about women because what I'm seeing here in this verse is that taking on, most of the time they take on women of certain religions.
Thank you. But too much women can turn your heart away, because right, you see that with King Solomon. It did not with David. But if you remember, one of David's wives, when they were bringing up the Ark of the Covenant, and David danced till him clothes drop off, one of the dances that we do now. David was a Judite, so he would not be doing what I call it, he wouldn't be doing the shoulder fling and the sweep. There was on Judite dance. Pandira, no female dancer. Man and woman do Pandira. And he wasn't doing ska. He wasn't doing ska. Tell me a Judite dance. Maybe he was break dancing. That's Judite. And that's one dance that could actually cause the clothes to fall off. And his wife tried to reprimand him for it, tried to make him look smart. Big king like you, blah, blah, blah. And say, you don't pick me. Good thing that wife wasn't a Benjamite. Why we say that? Eh? I would like give a jacket. Well, I definitely get a jacket. The Benjamin over there love the jacket, you know. Yeah, but and you see him court system expose it. They carry the man to I call it again. They call a court and carry the man to maintenance.
Family court.
He can well no, not, you cannot go family court if you are family. What they call it, but where you carry the man to pick the maintenance. Child support court. So they carry the man to child support court knowing. And guess what? When they watch the talk show, they will have is that a Benjamin only thing, right?
One of the things that really put a wedge in the wheel where that is concerned, so is when you have in our country now where a child is being born,
Yeah.
the RGB captures every information on father and mother and child at the labor ward before they actually leave. So you have documentation of father's name, mother's name, and then they go through the process of application.
Yeah, but that don't mean say a man won't. That don't mean say a man won't, you know. Because here all they find out now is you have turn over the part now. Migration. When the man get successful now and same thing, travel to America and says and say want to carry up his children to the States. And when he start the process, one thing that is required is that DNA testing. And then the DNA testing showed this child does not belong to the father, to this man. But there's a way around it, you know. But then again, if me get a jacket, what way more and get around that? What I should be doing is sewing sheaf here all the years where me I take care of them and pick me. Sew our backside, yeah.
So like you say, you raised a good point, that registration of the names, especially the father, does not really prove that this is the man's seed. Because as you pointed out, knowing of many situations where a child at adult age would have found out that this is not my father, even though the name is there on the certificate.
Right. Once the DNA said no, US, you can't go US. I don't know about Canada. Canada probably do the same thing. But you know would have to take that child as an adopted child. The child that you adopt, you can file for that child. But the one that you are saying, I have about all a man have 6 children to blurs it down and only one out of the people. And guess what? This is the one where him in a doubt say a jacket because all the other 5 favor, you know, look alike. And that one don't look like the others. Yeah, that man must be a jacket. That's the only one for him. It's the 5 that is the jacket. Seriously, yeah? And, well, she know, and it's the same man, she get pregnant for 5 times outside of the relationship. So you see this thing where you see someone that about, oh, take away a man of money. Come on. You leave your brother with his woman. If about you will take away another man of money. Yeah, you might be a little better financially than the man he is with, that the man she is with, but that's the man she loves. So she continues wrapping his present in her box. Oops. To the point where Salaki almost turn over the camera. To the point where you get children that is not yours. And you go and beat up your chest and talk about take him girl let up. Well, I've never seen to do any such thing. All right, so yes, this part here is talking about women. A king should not multiply wives to himself because too much woman can lead him astray. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself riches, silver and gold. So not necessarily talking about the silver, the gold, but riches. And yet, Solomon was wealthy. The kingdom had so many riches, silver, real gold, real stones and things that they are the places that they hide them. If you remember the story of the Babylonian ambassador who went to Israel, and the king at the time, feeling good in himself, he was sick. The Babylonian ambassador came to him and he showed the ambassador all the goodly things of Israel. You remember that story? Yep. All the riches. This is, look, come on, let me show you the temple's riches. And let me show you the treasuries of the kings. And the ray, and the blah, blah. And it's so, God so have it that that man went back to Babylon. The king of Babylon died. And he became, so happened that he became king. What do you think that man did? March on Jerusalem and took all the riches that the king had showed him. He was a diplomat, you know. He went to Israel on a diplomatic mission. He went on a diplomatic mission. And, diplomacy, they show like when diplomats come here, they might show them what to have and, show them the country and so on, which was a mistake. So much so that he lost his throne. All right, where are we?
We're now at verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy 17 and verse 18. And it shall be, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book, out of that which is before the priests, the Levites, and it shall come, and it shall be with him. And he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes, to do them.
Right, and that is the king it's talking about. But So even the king is expected to stick to the covenant.
That his heart be not lifted up above his burden, and that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end
All right.
that
This part says that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren. Give me the layman term for that. Hmm?
get proud because of his riches and start to boast
Start to thinking better than you.
better than
Just like how they see some people, but they man so many other men come out of poverty and they come up and have something and start thinking better than people. And what happened? Most I just cut them right down. But that's what it's talking about. When it says his heart be not lifted up, if he thinks I'm better than the people and women rule over. This is what generally lead us to other nations. You rise above your people so much that you think, can't bother with them people. So it's not look on the good in the other nation and try to join yourself with the good in the other nation. Continue.
to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel.
Right. Chapter 18 now.
Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 1. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire and his inheritance. Therefore they shall slacken. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he hath said unto them. And he shall be the priest due from the people, from them that offer sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, and they that give unto the priest the shoulder and the 2 cheeks and the maw.
What's the maw?
But the somewhere in the stomach.
The stomach, the intestines, the gut, everything. And this shall be the priest due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be an ox or sheep, and they shall give unto the priest the shoulder, 2 cheeks, and the maw. You know, when you kill an animal and you cut it in 4, you got the 2 front pieces, the shoulder. So the cheeks is which part? The back. The next 2 quarter, which is the back quarter, right? And the maw is the gut. So it basically telling you that you give the priest everything. So you don't hold back anything for yourself. Next verse.
Verse 4. The first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thy oil, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep shalt thou give him.
And the fleece is what?
Is it the wool of the sheep?
The skin with the wool.
Skin wool.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. For the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of all thy tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. And if a Levite come from any of thy gates out of all Israel, where he sojourned, and come with all the desire of his mind, unto the place which the Lord shall choose, Then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, as all his brethren the Levites do, which stand there before the Lord. Verse 8, they shall have like portions to eat, besides that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony.
What's that?
What's that?
Yeah, look what's patrimony. So it's telling that we are to take care of the Levites forever. But guess what? The Levites turn their mind, you know. That's why it's happening. What is happening? It is happening.
Alright, so patrimony, according to Google, property inherited from one's father or male ancestor.
Right.
Valued things passed down from previous generations.
Coming from patriarch. So it's not matrimony, it's patrimony. Matrimony will be the mother side. They shall have like portions to eat beside that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony. Whatever is due to him from his father's side, they might sell or whatever. So you still have to give him. Because I guess he can get some riches from him father. Or when you give them sheep or whatever, sometimes they get live animals, they can raise it. And it increase and increase. And they pass the flock down to their sons. No, they never own land, you know. But yes, they could buy if they have the money. And in this city, they could buy property in the city if they so desire. Even though those who serve, they now want to get properties in the city and probably whatever they might bequeath to them. You might give them something. You know, here's a house, here is a this, here's a that. You can do this, you can do that. That was, and guess what? They run the church same way. You know, that's how they run the church.
Concert, say they all started thinking that they mimic all of this.
Yeah.
All of this.
Mm-hmm. And you supposed to you take care of the pastor. But they're saying the laws are done away with, right? Hey, look here. Put the fan in front of you, make a lot of breeze there. Place is hot. So it was law that we take care of the Levites who were the priests. You know, they are saying laws are done away with. However, they followed that portion of the law that says we should take yes, and the tithes portion.
They choose what
they choose what to follow, and there's nothing in the laws that says, and you shall choose what you follow. No such thing. Ever, because especially the older churches like Catholics, Anglican, probably the Presbyterian and the Mother Church. I'm talking about churches where its members have wealth. Yeah, a little New Testament and this and that. A little Just Come Church. Remember, they can hardly feed themselves. So there's not much. Like, tithes is the only thing they have because they have a job. So collectively they throw the tithes, but as I say, they're going to bequeath property to the church. People them don't have that. But in the older churches, find some wealthy people. You see them give all this lovely house to the church. Not that anyone, not that the priest or anyone needs somewhere to live, you know. They just give them and they can rent it and the earnings go to the church. They give land, especially lands adjoining the church. You know, obviously they call Rectory Road, Rectory land. It belonged to the Anglican church, you know. All that portion. 100 years ago, almost 200 years ago. As a matter of fact, that's, I think up that side was where the priests had his rectory. That's how we get the name Rectory land. Up there's a rectory there. Rectory not there, you know, the rectory is somewhere else. But all that land had belonged to the church. What happened to it? You know, people just captured it. Captured little. The church don't know it's theirs. They didn't even know it was. But they can't go claim that. They can't buckle so much people. You want board on your church? They go board on your church, man, so they just leave it. And besides, the church still getting more things. Yep. All right, we have verse 1.
Verse
9.
When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
So don't follow them with them nasty things. Let's see, like some of the things. Continue.
Verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter.
Observer of times. What's that? All right, let's go through each of them. Don't pass your daughter or your son through the fire. Meaning what? Human sacrifice. They don't engage in human sacrifice. They're sacrificing children. You see them things about this? And I have a feeling them things are still going on behind closed doors, you know. Yeah, man. All right. Or that use it divination. What's divination?
Right,
Google.
divination. The practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means.
Right. So that has somebody who do what? Looking at him crystal ball. So that's a one where you said the mother woman looking at the crystal ball, right? Observer of times. What's that?
It's have to do with the signs of the time, reading the stars or
Nah. Mm-hmm. Partly reading the stars, but what time is it talking about here? You know, simple mind, we don't want to tell her that you don't watch when it's full moon, you don't watch when it's new moon. But the Bible tells us that we have new moon, wow. We observe the moons to know when to plant, when it's Passover. So we observe the times. So what are they really talking about? Because we have to know when it's winter, autumn, summer, and spring. So it's not talking about that. So what is it talking about? How about bird signs?
General times.
Yeah,
Horoscope.
horoscope. You can check the horoscope and know today fall in what. Anyway, in what. Every day you can do that. Which month we in?
Oh, November.
November. So you know you can know which bird signs we are in, which one coming up. And then they read the horoscope to you, don't? And tell you what could happen today. That is observing the time. That's the one he's telling you not to do. What was the enchanter now? All right, you know, the enchanter, the witch, the charmer, the consulter with familiar spirit, the wizard, all of them basically the same. Witchcraft, all of them.
Right.
Right. But the enchanter, that I want to cast spells.
Magical source.
Right. The witch, what the witch does. The witch do all of these still it up. But what makes a witch a witch? Yeah, the witch is the female, but you have a craft. Witch and wizard is the same thing.
Listen to. Able to cast spells.
When you're able to use um, not things that are available around you, naturally available things or circumstances, and you spin it to your benefit. Like, tell me some. Witchcraft is around you every day. Right under, you remember the under my nose? It's right under my nose, and you don't know it. Tell me one, give me some examples of witchcraft. Yeah, where people use manipulate circumstances towards their benefit. Mm. You have two major ones in the country, in any country,
Religion.
right? Christianity,
Christianity.
because they are able to manipulate your mind and take away things from you while telling you that the laws are done away with. But you must show tithes, and that was a law. And you must take care of the pastor, and that was a law. So how are they able to manipulate your mind? Witchcraft. When you go to someone who, well, we used to go to church. So, eh?
Yes, sir.
How they manipulate your mind in your church?
It's not yes, sir. Especially with money. You hear say, they are telling say, give and the Lord will give it back to you.
No, man, no, that they use a manipulate your mind. You take communion, don't? Why people take communion?
Say that make yourself clean.
Exactly.
Forgiveness of sins.
And then come on them sing that you go in a different mode when time them go into communion, don't?
Concern, and you are not thinking anything about Bible. You're just thinking about the moment communion.
Mm-hmm.
Your faith in this wine and a piece of bread will
Mm-hmm.
solve all your problems in your life.
That's witchcraft.
That's just really just not freaking
I say it was go for the little piece of bread.
No, they can't do it. I think not. We couldn't see over everyone else. People believe that.
Lord have mercy.
It's a fact. People still believe it.
All right. What else? What else happened there? If you go clap on church, it begin that.
Cancer. When is the offering time? when it's the time to collect the money, and there's never a collection of money without music and dancing.
Yes, man.
So music and dancing put you in maybe a trance, or you want to give more.
Right.
Things are going to happen. It creates a mood.
Right. Some church use hymn, not singing and dancing so much.
Yes.
Hymn. All right. So how about the clap on and getting a spirit and
the jump. And the jumps.
The music.
There's an observation that I've made some years now.
Those are enchantment.
It's like a trend.
So you see, you tell them what the enchanter they. Yeah. Or an enchanter. That's what they do. They enchant you. Right? They charm you.
And you find,
all that give them a witchcraft.
You find that a lot of the so-called evangelists, preachers, pastors, whatever they call themselves, when they are preaching, so to speak, the musician work in alliance with the preacher. Because each time that he will preach or hit a point, then the music is played, and there's this constant mode of so-called worship.
Okay, I wouldn't get to the mode of worship in the Anglican and the Catholic. So the priest in him robe and him come up and him make certain signs and him flash him holy water. That's enchantment. That's how they break you into the witchcraft. All right. All religion is witchcraft, you know. It's not only Christianity. All of them. If you're Muslim, if you have Hindu, whichever one, it's witchcraft. Because what they are doing, and this is where most people don't understand because they want to mix up witchcraft with obia. It's not the same thing. Obia is poison. Well, witchcraft contains a little poison that it poisons the mind, but obia is physical poison. People put things in your way, they poison you. Put things in your food, swell your belly, put things on yourself where swell your foot and them sitting there. It's poison. It's not that him can stay one side and him go and do him thing and it reach you. You have to get it in your way. That's obvious. But the religion being witchcraft. Witchcraft seeks to manipulate. And you will understand it better when I bring out the next point that witchcraft is strong in. Is strong in. But I'll allow you to guess.
Witchcraft is strong in.
Yes, another point. Religion, what else? This is the next strong thing too. Religion. Advertising. Advertising is witchcraft. As it manipulates as well. For instance, you're advertising auto parts or a car, and you put a naked girl, half naked girl with it. What you doing? What car have to do with the girl?
No. Especially, but it draws especially men.
Exactly. So you manipulate a circumstance towards the benefit of yourself. So some people might say, then, so what's wrong with that? Well, the most I say, don't do it. So that now your next question I'm going to ask. So that means if we're in Israel, we should not be advertising. It's not that you should not be advertising, but if you knows what, if you should know what goes on behind the scene with these advertising companies, the agencies, and the models. Yep. They all get involved in this orgy. Models, when they're ready, they have orgy parties. And guess what? Is the ones who attend and partake get the millions, become successful. Right? And then these are the models now. You have certain models, once you put them on your product, it sells. Why? Because they are involved, they indulge in behind the scenes stuff. I can't forget this show that I watched. It was a show that was made in the 70s. How could you get that show again? I think it was YouTube. You know, the thing with YouTube, you see a show. At some point, they catch up with it and remove it, because of copyright and all kind of things. Yeah, man, this young lady who was working in the advertising agency. You have the spotter, the person who spot them and see the potential. So she invite her to this. They have the stages where they invite them. And they go. So invite her to one function and she goes, she partake. Then they invite her to one other one where she go and she see all the different peoples and blah blah blah. She go on there. So the ultimate thing where they invite her to now, guess. What would be if it's witchcraft, what's the ultimate place they would invite her? No, witches don't use church, they use cavern. Cavern. They do their thing in cavern. So they invite her to the cavern. When she go in there now, she see other people who she know, like when I say, wait, they mean that them something here. You understand? And then she became so successful. But it was a show, so she walked away from all that. Which madam lie. It was a white woman. In real life, them stay night. Yeah. So the Most High is telling us to stay away from these things. We don't need any enchanter or nothing. He already promised you that all we need to do is follow these laws and he will give us what we require. Don't? Yeah. So we don't need divination, reading horoscope. Yeah.
The divination there is where you talk like in our society where you say that people obey them.
Yeah, something like that, but it has some spirituality to it. Like then try and contact spirits. Well, so then put it on as a consulter with familiar spirits. Right. A wizard. Wizard is the male witch. Is the man who practices the craft. What do you right name for the craft? The craft. That's what they call it. But you can't call it witchcraft for the man. But guess what? It is it's not a masculine religion. It's not a masculine. They call it, and they don't even call it practice. They like a practice. They don't even call it a religion. It's not a masculine practice. It's feminine. It's a female that run things in witchcraft. It's a female. There was a necromancer. Google what is necromancer. There was one in the Bible who a king had consulted to raise up Saul, I think. Somebody hold
Necromancy.
Yeah.
Method of divination through alleged communication with the dead.
Yeah.
Black art, magic in general, especially that practice by a witch or sorcerer.
Right. So I just see all the things that is leave. It's not like it's a separate craft. All of it come under witchcraft. The enchanter, the divinator, the observer at the time, the charmer, consulting for familiar spirit, wizardry. Wizard is just a male as to the rich, or a necromancer. All of it is witchcraft. It's the, as a matter of fact, all those, follow me, all those is the craft that the witch and the wizard has. Those, that's a craft.
All them put together, similar, they're similar.
Each one of them is the craft. Just like me, all right, say me a builder. What does that include? Painting, mason work, carpenter work, steel work, um, well, you know, it's not a trade to say demolition. Yeah, but no, I'm telling you the carpentry, telling you the various trade. Carpentry, masonry, steel work. Those are the craft and as becoming a builder, right? So you're talking about witchcraft now. It's divination, human sacrifice, you pass the children through the fire. So all these things, this name right here is witchcraft. It's the craft of the rich. It's all witchcraft. And the most I say, all these are an abomination unto him. All right, verse 12.
Verse 12. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee.
So it's because of all these witchcraft, workings of witchcraft, why the Most High drove out the nations, the Amites that were in the land. Of course, you know, we went in and we did verse 13.
Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God.
So perfection, here and telling the Most High encourages us to be perfect. So how you become perfect?
By living according to or following the law.
By following the laws. That's how you become perfect. So when a man who tell about you can't be perfect. No. Christ encourages you to be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. So I'm telling you to follow in the laws. And here from beginning of time to tell you, thou shalt be
Thou shalt be with the Lord thy God.
perfect. Perfect.
Verse 14.
13.
Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God.
Right, 14.
For these nations which thou shalt possess hearkened unto the observers of times and unto diviners. But as for thee, the Lord thy God hath not suffered thee to do so. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him he shall hearken, according to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not.
All right, so Moses is telling that the Most High will always raise a prophet to guide them, just like how they have a prophet in the liking of Moses right there now. So all those groups they come and tell about we yeah, we're not supposed to have no prophet now and blah blah. Commanding General Leona is the prophet now, right? He's the one who the breaking down of the scriptures came to him from the seven, handed down to him. That is why any explanation you're not sure of, you ask the person who is above you. If you don't understand, it goes until it reaches command in General Yohanna. And what he says, the breakdown he give you, that's it. Right? So this is how these faith groups operate now. Come and tell you that Christ is the ultimate, Christ is the leader of Israel right now. Christ speak to anybody right now? You want to know what Christ said? Go and read the scriptures. But when you read the scriptures, you need an interpreter. Christ's not going to come and interpret it for you. So how are you going to get that interpreter?
Who is prophet?
You have to have a prophet. You have to have a leader. They shall appoint unto themselves one head. And we know sure that's not talking about Christ. Because we never appoint Christ. If it was left up to Israel, Christ would die and stay dead. Don't. Or they were seeking to reverse everything that Christ did. It wasn't we who appoint Christ. When Christ had the Passover, when Christ started to get into the change, the Passover, even the 12 one leave. Everybody went away leaving. Well, kind of unfair to say that because they weren't invited. Just the 12 was invited. When he break bread with the 12, because he wasn't gonna be with them soon, because he knew that he would die. They didn't know. He told them, but I mean, it's like me telling you that I'm gonna die one day. You know, so not dead one day. You say, well, we're all gonna die one day, ain't it? But you know not when. Let's talk about that. You remember the story with the four family in Saint, the four from the one family in Saint Anne who died in a car accident. Man, that's a tragedy. All right. Verse what? 19 now.
Concern. We are at verse 17. And the Lord said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken.
Mm-hmm.
I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him.
But the prophet. Hmm? What I mean by require of you? When something require, when the Most High requires something of you, that means what? Huh? You expect you to do it. And you don't do it, then right. That's what he mean by require of him. So one way and whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name. So when the prophet come and speak and you don't listen, it read the words reach you now. So you hear. Just like how we in the truth now putting out the word, the truth as it is. That's why it is called the truth. Letting you know that you are Israelite, let you know that the covenant is what you should be following. Let you know that you should separate from these races. Let you know that you should listen to the leaders in your truth. The truth is you. You tell you that Christ came, died for you and not for everybody. And let you know that, in other words, we tell you the Bible. You're here. So let's say the person here and don't listen, like those who might come in the truth and leave. It's required of them, meaning what?
Because they had heard the teachings and refused to do so, then they shall be
They have no excuse, right? So they have no excuse because they heard it. It's required of them. Use our court system. Um, you have speeding laws, right? Laws against speeding. When the policeman stop you and catch you speeding, what happened? It's required of you because you did not follow the speed limit. So that is why you required of you to helmet. That is why you get a ticket. And if you don't pay the ticket, what happens? You go to court. And if you do neither, you could go to jail. Right? So it's required of you. That's what he's talking about. But 20.
Verse 20. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die.
Ooh. So you come and you prophesy in the name of Caesar Borgia. Ooh, even that prophet shall what?
Even that prophet
Shall die.
shall die.
That's why we in the truth speak so much against the Christian pastors. Because they are speaking and prophesying in the name of another God, not in the one true God of Israel. And we keep on warning them. And you know the worst thing? They know the truth, you know. You remember the one who said, oh, so you're good Adventist man. But watch this now. It's all mackerel. No. Oh, so you know the truth then. Well, me not talk me pork till me dead. No. Till all the act them dead. And you see what happened? The most I make him slam off his finger in a door. Actually slam off in a piece lick off. Make that pass that the iron door, a shetty iron door. Slam the door and a moving finger. Lick off one giant time finger. Don't play with God. Don't play with God. Yeah, I know the truth. Stand before us. Well, stand before me and two other person who was in the class, and I tell we basically telling us that he know the truth, but him not start eat the pork till all the act them dead off of the earth. Uh, no, not the same day. And you and I know that all the pigs won't die off the earth because they are there for a purpose. It's just like you and I say, all the junk are dead off of the earth. They're not going to die from the earth. They have a purpose just like you. Most I make him lick off piece and finger. Literally make it do take it off. You know that it was no, it wasn't the pig fed door. It was a shop. But you know he must urinate himself. Probably defecate himself to take off a finger like that. My finger shut up in a car door already, no man. Man, was that hot? That is the wickedest slam you can get, trust me. 21 right?
Cancel. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord hath not spoken?
Mm-hmm.
When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing fall not, nor come to pass, That is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him.
Which is why we, in the truth, we speak from the Bible. So whatever we go there and prophesy was already prophesied in the Bible. So when we tell you, don't follow Trump, he's heathen, he's this, he's that, that's what's in the Bible. That's the seed of Esau. Everybody ever gave look like Esau himself. Orange hair man, or a blonde that. I didn't know. Whoa. Anyway, all I know is that black hair. So he's unclean. All right, so that's that. That's how you know the prophet. When him speak and they don't pass. But you see, the thing is, many things in the Bible written from before Christ came on the earth, don't? Ain't it? Isn't that so? Goodness gracious, what I'm telling you, man. All right, 19. Let's go to 19.
Deuteronomy 19 and verse 1. When the Lord thy God hath cut off the nations, whose land the Lord thy God giveth thee, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their cities, and in their houses, thou shalt separate 3 cities.
All right, watch this. Read over this part there. I understand what it is telling you.
Deuteronomy 19 verse 1. When the Lord thy God hath cut off the nations.
When him stop dealing with them, and motherfucker wasn't used to deal with them, but won't allow them the privilege of that land again. Yeah.
Whose land the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Right. So about those nations will give you their land. And give you that land. Well, it's a whose, yeah. Give you their land.
And thou succeedest them.
Right, and you now in the land and not them.
And dwellest in their cities.
Dwellest in what? Dwellest in whose city? That the other nation build. And in
their houses.
And in their house.
Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land.
So it's now your land. So you're going to separate, put aside 3 cities.
Which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it.
Right. 3.
Thou shalt prepare thee a way, and divide the course of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither.
Slayer, that is what? Killer. Thou shalt prepare thee a way, and divide the course of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, so that every killer may flee thither. And it's going to tell you which of the killer.
And this, verse 4, and this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither.
So he's not going to tell you, when he says slayer, what he means.
That he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly.
So you kill your neighbor, you kill your neighbor unknowingly, unintentionally.
Whom he hated not in the past.
In times past. This argument came up with me and one of the guys there. Just I think yesterday. They were explaining what is sin. They say, when you kill a man who you didn't intend to kill. Yeah, that's sin. So the argument came up now, and then suppose we kill him, I'm gonna intend to kill him. He said, well, you're going to have to prove that one, you never did. If anyone can come and say, me here, you swear already, say, me must kill you. Or if it's not somebody who you had hated, if it's ever once a person, you're going to say, you, I hate you, see? Lord. All right. Read over 4.
And this is the case of the slayer which shall flee thither, and that he may live. Whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in the past, in time past.
Right. So you didn't hate this neighbor. 5.
As when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a straw with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the helve, and lighteth upon his neighbor, that he die, he shall flee unto one of those cities and live.
So that is what? Accident. So that man is not a murderer. That is what? What you call it under our law? Manslaughter. Right. So that's why we say provisions for manslaughter. So when the Bible tells you thou shalt not kill, it makes provision. And it tells us if you kill, you shall surely be killed, don't? But it makes provisions for manslaughter. Because manslaughter ain't murder. You accidentally kill the man. All right, 6.
Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer, which is hard.
While
his heart is hot.
meaning, well, I know hard to say now, while in blood still hot, or in head hot, blood a boil, because you kill him relative, so kill him one, kill him back, and overtake him.
Because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. And if the Lord thy God enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee, beside these 3.
So the bigger the land gets, you have to put city, because if the way too long, the pursuer might catch him before he reach the city. But once he reach, huh? Well, look at Jamaica now. We have 3 city of refuge in Jamaica. You have one in Cornwall, one in Middlesex, and one in Surrey. You better be a good runner. But well, you have heard brothers in the truth in time past said that this is why when a black man do anything, he always on the run, because his soul is seeking that city of refuge. His soul is seeking that refuge, because we have spent a couple in 1,000 years prior to slavery having a city of refuge, and your soul never forget. So your soul know that refuge for the crime that you had committed should be out there. So you're on the run. seeking that refuge. But this is the city of refuge it's talking about. Verse what we just read.
We just read verse 9.
Right. If thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee beside these. Right. So the more land they got is the more cities of refuge they should have. But there's also somewhere else in the Bible tell you how the city of refuge is run. It's the priests, the Levites in charge of the city of refuge. Right. And when you go there for a refuge, they can't put you out. But if your pursuer hangs outside the gate, and for whether you know them out there or not, and for some reason you go through the gate and didn't get you, you're on your own. You're on your own. But it can come in there for you. And our law builds from the same thing. If someone pursues someone to kill them, another person to kill them, and that person comes in your house for refuge, you can't put him out to the killer, to the pursuer. Or you're going to be charged jointly with him. You know that? Yep. He came to you for refuge. You can't put him out.
There's a game that we normally play where it comes out in that game where you have to run for a point. Once you're in that game, you're not going to
Or we used to call that one the Cheffy. Yeah. Once you're in a den, they can't trouble you. Yeah. But once you leave it then, and I think Stocky too. Stocky was the same thing. But Cheffy was the one now you actually hold the person and capture him to put him in your den. Stocky now is the one where they touch you and just they stand where they touch you until somebody come free you. Yeah, those are nice games. But this one wasn't a game. You go outside the gate, you're dead. Well, providing that your slayer is out there. If the slayer give up and gone. Well, but suppose you move from that city now and go somewhere else. You're there on your own just the same. So you know you're going to have to stay in the city of refuge until you die. Yeah. Under the protection of the priests. He give you a scenario in which it can happen, you know. You and the man go in the wood to cut wood, in the bush, the woods to cut wood, and the axe slip and cut him so that he die. Then you better run for the city of refuge. Yeah. All right, verse 1.
Verse 10.
That innocent blood read.
That innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him mortally, that he die, and flee into one of these cities, then the elders of the city, his city, shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, and he may die.
All right.
Then
That is All right, but if any man hate his neighbor and lie in wait for him and rise up against him and smite him mortally that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities, 12 says,
Then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die.
right. So they have the right then to put you out. Because what?
Because he did evil.
You had committed murder. That's not manslaughter, that's murder. So how they are going to determine when you come to the city and say, boy, I accidentally kill a man. There might not be any witness. They won't try you.
Yeah, it's going to come out that he was premeditated.
Well, because, and then again, you have so much liars. They say, a long time you want to kill him. But there would have to be a trial, eh? And while you are there in the city of refuge, the elders protect you until they send and fetch you outside. Right and you over to your avenger. We better come with enough gun. All right.
Verse 13.
Yeah.
Verse 13. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee.
All right. So remember that it may go well with thee, so that you don't, the most I don't have your, most I want to see you do these things. Put away the evil from before you. So don't bother going because it's a relative, a friend, or mean that you're shielding. So this thing where all people take up say informer for dead, that's not in the Bible. Mm-mm. Somebody do something, you have to inform on them. You have to inform on that person. All right. 14.
Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thy inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it.
All right. Why it speak about the landmark now? Because moving landmark, what makes that unlawful? It's unfair.
Stealing.
You're stealing. So normally most times somebody move a landmark is to give their adjoining land more space. Then go and move a landmark. That should not happen. That's verse 1.
Yeah, verse 14. Now we are at verse 15.
Okay.
One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin. In any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established.
All right. But in Esau court, if one witness can send you, what the most I said now, 2 or 3, one witness thing. Continue.
Verse 16. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him, that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days.
All right. So that's it. If one false witness rise up and him can have him way. But if it 2, they can always cross-examine the 2 witnesses. All right, continue.
Verse 18, and the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and
What do you mean by make diligent inquisition?
to search, to see, to inquire.
And how they do that? There's a term you use in court today to do that. I just said it.
Cross-examination.
Exactly. Can't watch Law and Order, no. Yes. They say them cross-examine the witness. Because, believe it or not, you know, Esau's law's formation comes from us. Give you no credit, but they take what you have. All right, so the judge shall make diligent inquisition, that is, cross-examine the witness. Continue.
And behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then shall he do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you.
So you kill him. Once you find him to be a false witness, sentence right away, death sentence. Continue.
And those which remain shall fear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you.
Guess what? You know, this was the reason why they had public hanging. Public hanging was for the days when you didn't have news station. There was no radio, no TV. So in order to get the word out that Tom Stroke was hanged, they did publicly. So that who here can do what?
And fear.
No, read that part.
Those which remain shall hear and fear.
Right.
And shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you.
Right.
And thine eye
Same thing why they do the public hanging. And
thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
right. So this is where, you know, when it's an eye for an eye, that's what it was talking about. Killing. All right. Go take me to yeah, man. Take me to John 8 and 7.
John 8 and verse 7.
Marco, John 8 and 7. Yeah.
So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her.
All right. So this is where they love to say, you must not judge me because you have sinned too. He that is without sin, let him cast the first stone. Well, all these things that you see, we read about in the law. The only thing that is, you can't remember the 5 branches of the law again. How we go again? They have the dietary, law of the clean and unclean. Come on, remind me now.
Dietary.
The sacrificial laws.
Dietary law.
Which other one again? remember. But one of the branch was where you execute the law. Where you call it? The judgmental side of the law. Huh? That's the only part that is not in effect. And judgment meaning we actually do what it says. We just read here to do. We would actually sentence, find somebody being a false witness. We as a nation try and put him to death. In Esau court, the person is a false witness. What happens to him? They dismiss his argument, or they might hold him in contempt, but he's not dead. They don't kill him. But our law said, kill the false witness. When Christ says, he that is without sin, this was when Christ explaining to you. This is Christ explaining to you. The judgmental part is not there, so you are now in grace. That's why he said to her, go and sin no more. He said we can see that part. Read 11. No, read 10.
Thanks, sir. Verse 10.
All right, you just read that. 7, read 8.
And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground.
9.
And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and woman standing in the midst. Verse 10, when Jesus had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. Then spake Jesus unto
That's it.
That's it?
Oh, you can read to them.
Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
All right. This is through grace. So all that we heard about, not executed because Christ brings grace. But it's the yardstick in which we need to measure our life to know if we still meet up to the standard that God want us to be. Understand? So we being under grace don't mean that, yay, freedom, we can do anything we want. No, it's a time that you measure yourself up to the law and determine, am I living according to the law? You make a mistake. Sometimes you make a mistake which the sentence would have been death if we were governing ourselves. But you are given a second chance. And a third sometimes, and a fourth, and a fifth. But it won't be forever. It is going to be required of you one day. Pretty soon too, it's going to be required. As a matter of fact, you hear the word, you die before you cry. You talk about Christ coming up, Christ returning. But remember, the same Bible tells you that after death comes the judgment. So it's required of you. If Christ won't even come and you die, which probably that is the more likely one, you die before Christ come. It is required of you. You heard the laws, you know you should follow it, you know you're under the covenant. The covenant don't gone. He's the only person who used to say covenant not in effect was Esau. And he has his reasons for doing that. Because as long as you think that the covenant is not in effect, they will have the upper hand of you. And they know it. That's the thing. Questions?
In John chapter, many times you hear a person say, Don't judge me, or you cannot judge me. Or the Christian mindset most of the time says, You cannot judge me, don't judge me. right? In John 12 and verse 47. If any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world.
And if anyone hear, all right, Jesus came to save the world. All right, read from 44.
Jesus cried out, saying, He that believeth on me, believeth not on me. He that believeth on me, believeth not on me, but on him that sent me. And he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. I am come a light unto the world, into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world.
Mm-hmm.
He that rejected me and receiveth not my words hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in that last day. For I have not spoken of myself.
You get the answer there. He that rejected me and received not my word, at what? At one that judged him, the word that I have spoken. So is that Christ judging me now? Is what?
That which he heard.
The conviction that is now required of him. That's what judging. So in other words, let me see if we can give an example. Your mother said your mother said to you, most mothers say to most girls, leave that man alone. No meaning no good. And you go and you hear them. And you go and you talk to the man same way. Get you pregnant, and then him go and leave you. Was it your mother who judged? Was it your mother who judged you?
At some point in time,
Make you start feeling hard life based on you not listening what she said. Was it she who judged you?
Disobedience to what she said.
It's what she wasn't the one who judged you. It's what she said come on you.
She says.
Exactly. So when Christ, why Christ can say this, because he never, what Christ came to do was already there in the law. Don't.
Oh.
Yeah. So in other words, that's why he said this to the woman. We are your accusers. And them gone and said, there's no man who stand to judge you. He said, no, Lord. He said, well, if them don't judge you, I don't judge you either. That's why he said this. I don't come in the world to judge. Because you already have the law there to judge you. Thou shalt not kill. Hey, listen, if you kill the man, people go and kill you in a brethren. How can I tell you that? Because it's there in the law. So when it happens, you don't ever listen to me now and you go kill. When the people kill you, I don't mean, I don't my judgment reach you. It's a judgment that was already there. True or false? Alright. So I'm saying I came, and if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. Which world is he talking?
Israel.
The world of the Israelites. And you can find the proof to that in Acts.
So the part where it says came not to judge the world, but to save.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the part.
All right. Try and understand what judge means. What judge means. Google it now. Tell me what judge means. Not the one, not the no. But you want the, which word is the action word again? What do you call action word again? No. Verb. Right. What happened to you, man? You find it? So the verb for judge there is what?
Either having a form, it is quite a form of an opinion or a conclusion about the situation.
To form an opinion or a conclusion about something. So that's judgment. So judgment comes from judge. That's all, listen?
And it gives some examples.
Yeah, what like?
Public officer appointed to decide cases in a law court, in a law court, a leader having temporal authority in ancient Israel in the period between Joshua and the kings.
All right. So when Christ ain't come not to judge the world, it means that he ain't come to chastise you for the sins you are committing, but to save you from the sins you are committing. Understand? If he came to judge, he would have killed off Israel from that time because Israel was sinning. You're mixing up judge with like somebody accusing somebody of something, and you know, like somebody will say, "Don't judge me, man." Like I said, you don't say you don't say it's you do so and so. And somebody said, "Don't judge me." That's not judge. That's accuse, right? But we normally mix it up. That's why most time like this judge now we don't know what it means. But hear what Christ is saying. He didn't come to execute judgment on Israel, the world of the Israelite. He came to save the world of the Israelite. Understand now? Is that clear? Not convincing. Is that clear? Answer like you understand. Concert. Is that clear? All right. Any other question? Can I move on, or is that that's it? All right. So with that, stand and say the Our Father prayer. Sometimes we say Amado, which means to stand. Face the east. Abanawa. Shabba Shamaya. Kodash. Haya. Shamka. Jahawa. Malak Waka. Taba'a. Ratazaka. Haya. Aisha. Barakaza. Kawa. Haya. Mashamaya. Nathan. Lanao. Lakan. Kal. Yawam. Wasalak Lanao. Kawawat Nan. Kasalak Lanao. Kasalak Nao. Kawawat Yanao. Walaha. Tabaya Anao. Banasaya. Aba. Awashai Nao. Maya. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wahahala. Wahatapara. Lai Walame. Awa. In English, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be. Prayer for the poor. Yahweh Basham Yawashai Babakasha. Nathan Lanao. Akak, Akak, Lara Pa Kalmakala, Lara Pa Kalmakala, Wakal Madal, Akak, Rataha, Amatazare, Akak, Lahakwaya, Amatya, Akak, Ibrakawa, Atamar, Nagarasha, Marasham Yavashai, Tawara. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, please give us the power. Power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. Power to cleanse the lepers. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. Cast them out in the name of Yahweh. Thank you, sir. I.S.U.P.K. security announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limit for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, 8 to 10. Means 10% in Hebrew and is pronounced Ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free with offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation. What's your upcoming Holy Convocation? Akarnaka, Feast of Dedication, 25th day of the 9th month, by the space of 8 days. Wednesday, December 9, 2020 for 8 days. First Maccabees 4, 5, 50, no, second Maccabees 4, 52 to 61. Akem and Akwatian, you are reminded to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. That you say, Imagine. If you need to stand, one courteous salute to the teacher, Majum Shabbat, Majum Arak, Yahweh Shalom Shabbat Katam. One courteous salute to the female, front face sisters, Majum Shabbat, Majum Arak. Yahweh Shamar Latan Basham Yahweh. Good night, I'm zone class this week.
Are you a chicken?
Listen.